My name is Keanna.
And I'm Kaylee.
We'll be talking about Treaty 6 commitments and how the promises made have been broken over time. Treaty 6 was signed in 1876, and one of its important promises was education. This promise was meant to help Indigenous nations through a time of huge social and economic change. But for Indigenous communities, education has always meant more than just school. It includes cultural, spiritual, emotional, and physical learning. It's about protecting language, traditions, and knowledge so they can be carried on to future generations. At its heart, this Treaty 6 education promise was supposed to be built on respect and partnership, something both sides would work on together over time, as a living and ongoing commitment. Treaty 6 promised supportive education, but residential schools replaced it with forced assimilation. Children were taken from their families, punished for their languages and culture, and suffered lasting trauma. This history broke trust in government-run education and showed how far colonial actions strayed from the treaty's promises. The effects of colonial education policies are still felt today. Many Indigenous languages and traditional knowledge systems were disrupted or lost. Survivors in their communities continue to experience psychological and social trauma that is carried across generations. There's also lasting distrust towards government-run schools and educational inequalities, and socioeconomic challenges remain. Understanding these impacts is essential if we want to work towards reconciliation, support healing, and create meaningful change in education today. Today, education is also a way to rebuild. Programs led by Indigenous communities help restore language, culture, and identity, and community control ensures learning reflects Indigenous values and knowledge. Real progress requires stable funding, culturally grounded curricula, and shared decision-making between governments and Indigenous nations. I chose to become a teacher because I want education to be accessible, welcoming, and meaningful for all students. Teachers have the power to shape future generations. As a future educator, I feel a responsibility to understand Treaty 6 and create classrooms that honor Indigenous histories, cultures, and perspectives. When education reflects the true spirit of Treaty 6, it helps rebuild trust and strengthen partnerships.
My part focuses on the medicine chest clause in Treaty 6. The clause says each Indian agent must keep a medicine chest for First Nations people, but Indigenous communities have always understood it as much more than that. Leaders at the time saw it as a promise of ongoing medical care, especially with new illnesses coming in through settlers. Today, elders still view it as a guarantee of full, lasting health care, including both modern services and traditional healing. The Crown, however, has often taken a narrow, literal view, and that difference in interpretation is a big reason for the Treaty 6 health promise still feels unmet. My second slide looks at how colonial policies harmed Indigenous health. Residential schools, relocations, and the suppression of traditional medicine weakened strong community-based health systems that once existed. When Western medicine was imposed under non-Indigenous control, Indigenous people lost the ability to shape their own care. Even today, many health services lack cultural safety, which leads to mistrust, unequal access, and long-term health gaps. This is also why hospitals serving Indigenous communities are often overwhelmed. The system wasn't built with Indigenous people in mind. Slide 3 focuses on what reconciliation in healthcare looks like now. Alberta has started cultural safety training, and more Indigenous-led health programs are being created, giving communities more control. But real reconciliation means shifting decision-making power, providing long-term funding, and respecting both Western and traditional healing. Honoring Treaty 6 means returning to the original spirit of the Medicine Chest Clause: partnership, protection, and fair access to care. Recent steps like responding to the TRC calls to action and addressing systemic racism are part of rebuilding trust and moving closer to the healthcare system that was promised. To end my presentation, I want to share why this topic connects me personally. I chose nursing because I've always loved caring for others, and I want to be the kind of nurse who truly listens, someone who hears people's needs, respects their stories, and makes them feel safe. Learning about the Medicine Chest Clause and the Treaty 6 promise to protect First Nations health really strengthened that decision for me. It showed me how important it is to have healthcare providers who understand the history, who respect Indigenous perspectives, and who are committed to real change. I want to be part of that change. I want to be a nurse who honors the spirit of Treaty 6 by supporting fair, compassionate, and culturally safe care. And most of all, I want every patient I work with to feel seen, heard, and valued, because that's what good healthcare should be. Thanks for listening.